1,
2, 3,
4, 5,
6.
Do you ever wonder why chronic illnesses such as obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, autoimmune disorders, and cancer are at an all-time high? Well, I did, and let me share with you some of the astonishing discoveries that I have found. Through several months of research on my own personal health journey, I found out the conditions mentioned above are at an all-time high because of American diet overwhelmingly consists of ultra-processed foods. For those of you not familiar with this topic, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms, and ultra-processed means food companies are altering our food by adding different preservatives and fillers, making our food have little to no nutrition value at all. Not only is it missing enough nutritional value for us to be healthy, all the additives and modifications they are making to our food causes serious health problems such as obesity, diabetes, and other major life-threatening illnesses in our people. Throughout this speech, it is my mission to educate you on why we desperately need to make changes. By transitioning to clean eating, you will start feeling better on a daily basis, be able to lose weight if needed. Even if you have tried before and failed, clean/organic eating will also drastically lower your risk of chronic illness. Therefore, we are going to get started and talk how chronic illnesses are on the rise. First, we will see how eating ultra-processed GMO foods cause chronic illnesses. According to the CDC, chronic illnesses is defined as a condition that lasts 1 year or more and requires ongoing medical attention or limits activities of daily living, or both. The CDC states that heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are the leading causes of death and disabilities in the United States as of 2021. It is obvious to look around and see that obesity is the leading problem in America's health crisis. According to Newsweek magazine, obesity raises the risk of hospitalization 6-fold and the risk of death 12-fold. Diabetes is another chronic illness affecting millions of Americans today. In July 2022, the CDC stated that half of all Americans now have diabetes or prediabetes, and that diabetes is now the number 7th leading cause of death in the United States. Likewise, in May 2022, Heart.org said that 1 in 3 deaths each year are due to cardiovascular diseases, and that heart disease is the number 1 leading death in the United States for men and women. Making cardiovascular diseases one of the leading causes in death in America today. These 3 chronic illnesses result in the most deaths of people in the United States currently. Since obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death in America today, let us talk about why scientists believe this is happening and to us and what we can do to protect ourselves. Secondly, I want to talk to you about how clean eating or eating organically can help you avoid becoming obese, diabetic, or fighting off chronic illnesses. Before we can do that, you need to know what clean/organic eating means. According to MayoClinic.org, eating foods that are synthetic or processed additives such as pesticides, chemical fertilizer, or dyes, and must not be processed using industrial solvents, which are chemicals used to dissolve other substances. So start eating clean. Start by replacing the groceries you use with organic replacements. Read food labels and avoid all foods that start with any code word for sugar. You can Google synonyms for sugar, and a pull-up list of food companies are extremely tricky and make it hard for the average Joe like me to really know what they are selling us. You will also need to go to ewg.org and print off a list of Dirty Dozen, which foods are a necessity to buy organic, and a print list of the Clean 15, which is a list of foods that have a hard or thick protective outer shell or skin and do not necessarily have to be bought in organic form because their thick protective skin does not allow harmful chemicals such as pesticides to penetrate the actual food that we ingest. I know that this change is not easy. It is difficult, especially when you are talking about changing the way you've eaten your whole life. However, it is critically important to your health and your longevity. So start to educate yourself on clean eating and its benefits. Make sure to print the 2 food lists I mentioned earlier to help you with your grocery shopping. Do not stress yourself out trying to make the switch. Gradually start to weed out the over-processed GMO food you eat and replace with clean organic foods. Once you get 90% of your diet switched to clean, after about 2 to 3 weeks of clean eating, you'll feel like a brand new person. I know this because I personally did it. Once I had done some of the research and wondered if my eating habits were making me feel bad, I practiced clean eating for 6 months. If I'm honest with you, the first 2 weeks were hell because my body had to detox from the preservatives and sugar addition I had because of the foods I had consumed my whole life. As I come to the end of this speech, I want to take a minute and think of how many people are known in today's world that have suffered a stroke, heart attack, have cancer, or some type of diabetes, rather than your grandparents' or great-parents' lives. It all boils down to what we eat. I feel as I have given food information and proof that our American diet is slowly killing us and we need to make changes. I hope you see the health crisis our country is in, and I want to make changes to avoid these types of issues. Thank you for your attention.